Ahoy and welcome to I Like Watches. My name's Gary, I Like Watches, and you're here watching this because you like watches too, and I suspect you're interested in this year's most anticipated new watch release. Of course, I'm talking about Casio's first ever automatic watch. I personally had pretty low expectations when I first saw the price. I couldn't see how this was going to be anything other than a disappointment. I liked the design, but I was preparing myself for below par specifications and lackluster finishing, like we all too often see from brands like Seiko. Now, if you caught my unboxing, you'll have seen my initial response to seeing this watch in person for the very first time. Oh wow, okay. I'm impressed. I really didn't think I would be. I almost didn't get it, you know. Oh man, it looks good. I was genuinely shocked. I knew straight away this wasn't the disappointment I was expecting. I didn't look that closely, but it was clear this watch was good. I wasn't seeing the weaknesses I anticipated, like pressed clasp, hollow links and end links, rough finishing. Which is why after I posted the video, I was so surprised to see a steady flow of negative comments. Most of the criticism was targeting the price and movement, but almost every part of this watch came under fire. So I decided to take a much closer look at this watch to see if my initial response was off, and honestly, I don't think it was. In fact, I'm more convinced than ever that this watch deserves respect, and Casio should be commended for making it this good and to some degree affordable, because, well, I was also expecting it to cost more. And this is coming from someone who raves about AliExpress watches, often reviews them in favour of affordable watches from massive global brands like Seiko, Citizen and Casio. Firstly, I think it's worth reminding ourselves that this is a Casio, a watch being sold on the high street. So it's never going to compete with brands like San Martin for raw specifications and value for money. No matter how much we want it to, it just won't. But on the upside, you're getting a watch from a massive, well-respected Japanese watch brand. To many, Casio is God tier. And although the finishing isn't comparable to many AliExpress brands, it's significantly better than that you see on similarly priced Seiko and even Citizen. I have witnessed some shockingly bad finishing on, well, even mid-tier Seiko, not just affordable Seiko. In places, the finishing on this Casio is very good. Transitions are amazing. Brushing's more coarse than average, but I like that. The polishing in places is very nice. Okay, it's a little fuzzy in some areas. Applied indices look crisp and bright, and the finishing on the bracelet matches the case, which is unusual. Normally, bracelets get less attention, but not here. The finishing on the bracelet is fantastic. The brushing, polishing, and transitions are much better than expected. The clasp too, I mean, just look at this. It looks to me like Casio really wanted to impress us with the finishing on this watch. I also failed to notice any dust or debris under the crystal or on the dial, which is very rare. The movement also looks clean. There are a few marks on the hands and some of the polishing could be a touch smoother, but honestly, I was expecting to see much worse under the macro lens. I also looked closely at the dial print, which seems clean and crisp. The indices alignment looks pretty much perfect. And I also tested the date change, which couldn't have been better. The date clicks over the moment the minute hand touches midnight, which doesn't even happen on my Rolex or Grand Seiko. It's early on my Rolex and late on my Grand Seiko. Okay, not by much, but it's not happening at midnight. You'll also see that the hour and minute hand are perfectly aligned at 12. This doesn't happen by accident. Yes, the watch could be better. More holes in the clasp, less imperfections on the hands, some lume on the dial, stronger AR coating, screw instead of split pins, thinner case profile, sapphire not mineral crystal in the case back, a colour-coded date wheel, a Miyota 9000 series movement, or even their own in-house movement. And if it did, If it had all this stuff, it wouldn't be £242, it would be double that. Easily. And then we'd be complaining even harder about the price. And I said £242 because with Casio's 10% member discount, that's what it costs to buy one of these with the standard dials. You pay a little bit more for this version with the forged carbon dial, but I still think it's worth it. If this is a taste of what's to come from Casio in the future, then their future looks bright as far as I'm concerned. I know many watch enthusiasts believe Casio should have stayed in their lane and left this sort of watch to the Chinese watchmakers, but I personally think it's an amazing watch and I'm thrilled they made it.